Okay, so this is a quick introductory tour of Opphive. So just signed up, you'll see create your first project. So let's create our first project. And the first project we're going to do is broadband provider. And the target domain is broadbandprovider.co.uk. We're going to do it at root domain, so the whole of the website. Click continue. Data sources, we're going to let it pull from our API, so we're going to gather backlinks ourselves, but we're also going to make it as thorough as we can, so we're going to add any additional link data that we've got. So in this case I'm going to add a download of the links from Hrefs into here. So let's go to that, which I've downloaded already, and if you've got a legacy disavow file, you can add that as well. I actually have one for that as well, so I'm going to add that too. These are optional. And then, if you're ready, click continue. All looks okay. Now the project's created. If I click on it, it's going to take a little while for it to get everything done, because it's got quite a lot of crawling and scoring and bits and bats to do. On large profiles, this can take a considerable amount of time. On smaller projects like this, it gets through it pretty quickly. So it's still in scoring progress. Most of it's done, but it's just finishing up the stuff in the background, probably doing the disavow, etc. But you can see we have a link risk donut chart that tells us the risk of our links, reasonably balanced. We have a link power score, our LPS, which shows how likely is the link to pass its value. That's based on things like how relevant the link is, whether the text around the link contributes to the story you're trying to tell, etc. So as you can see, it's still updating little bits. So we've got 9 domains disavowed. 25 of our domains have got a low LPS, so we don't think they're counting, and 42 are probably counting. So it's not a great profile, but it's got some stuff. If we go to analyze results now, we can see a bit more detail, and we can see the links themselves. So we can see 42 counting, 34 probably not counting, of which 62% we reckon is effectively counting, because we've got some disavow stuff that we've removed. Then if you scroll down, you can see the links themselves with the conclusion, so either no conclusion, whether we've marked them as being okay, or whether we've marked them as being poor but keep. So if we're able to go through and audit things, and you can go and you can mark these things and say, okay, well, both of those look alright to me just from looking at them, so I'm going to set them as okay, and those conclusions will stick there. Any of these you click against, you can see more information, including things like the fact it's in the article body, it's low risk from our perspective, how the score is made up, the actual context, so the text before and the text after the link, which is really important from Google's perspective because they read the whole thing. So it gives you a lot of information. We can also see a summary if we wanted to. So a summary of the link profile. Don't have a great deal of anchor text variability in this particular project, but you'd see a word cloud of that. You see the TLDs, you see where the links are, you see how much is disavowed versus not disavowed, how much is followed versus no followed. Other means we don't know about it, so it might have been in the disavow file, but we've not crawled it because there's no point in crawling a disavowed link. We can do reporting if we wanted to. So if we've got a client we want to send things to, we can generate reports for the client. We can also do reports for internal use. We can export out any of our data for analysis elsewhere. So if we wanted to, we can go and look at the full client report. And the full client report will have a full summary, all the metrics that we've got, how much is counting, some information about why we think that, domains we think need some attention, domains we think are some of the better ones in that profile, anchor text distribution, TLDs, disavow status, etc. So it gives the client a really good overview. You can print that or send it to a PDF. Other things we can do, if we go back to analyze results, if we wanted to get a more complete audit done, we can filter things down by whatever we wanted to. Let's look at everything where the current conclusion is that we haven't got a conclusion for it so far. So that's everything that needs to be audited. So 39 of them. If we click Start Audit, it says we're going to review 39 one by one. So it's given it that session name. You can change that if you wanted to. It's going to give you a warning to say, you're going to be browsing sites on the internet now, and the internet can be a messy place, so just be careful. I'm okay. Let's start the audit. It shows the first one. We go and make our checks to decide whether we want this is being okay. I mean, it's okay. So we click that, and then instead of pressing keep, I'm going to press Q on my keyboard to mark that one as keep. Opens the next one. This one looks all right to me. Open the next one. Non-private CC. I'm not even going to go to that site. I think that's going to be a disavow. And you can see we can carry on like that as we go through. Extra. And that's setting these opinions in here. So the number that we need to do is going down. And eventually we'll get through the whole thing, and we can export out the disavow file for updating it at Google if we wanted to. We can export the entire data set either through just a simple export up here, or a full export, or just domains, or just links containing a massive information. So the system is really designed for you to get a really good, clear understanding of what's in the link profile for any domain that you're working on, to give you a better idea of what's counting and what's not counting, what's risky and what's not risky, to give you a clear indication of what you need to do. And then from that, you can then pitch the client or pitch internally to say, actually, we need to do more to improve our link profile because of this evidence that we've uncovered here by doing this audit process.